Hey, we are doing the law of sines and the law of cosines today. And they are formulas. You might have seen them in math too, but I'm not sure if they still teaching them anymore. It is the sine of an angle over the opposite side. So your angle, which is a large A, the sine of this angle over the side equals the sine of B, this angle, over the side opposite, equals the sine of C over this. You'll use two of the three. It just depends on what information you're given. You need three pieces of information for this. And then you'll cross multiply. The law of cosines is used when you have two sides in the included angle or three sides. So either if you have SAS or SSS, you'll be using the law of cosines. All the small letters are your sides, and the large letters, your capital letters, are your angles. You will want to write these down, these formulas down, because you are going to need to know them in order to solve triangles. All right here I left these done. These are actually two separate problems. One is finding the A, and one is finding the C. These are the three pieces of information you've got, the two angles and a non-included side. You will use these pieces of information because nothing's rounded off. They are exact. You will, once you find A, you don't want to use that the second time unless you have to, because you are going to be rounding it off. It's not going to be an exact answer. When you do this right here, you will cross multiply. So you are left with the 15 sine 48 equals A times the sine of 93. You have to get A by itself, so you will divide by the sine of 93. And that will give you A. So when you are doing it in a calculator, let's see which one I had. There we go. You have 15 sine 48. Okay, so I've got 15 functions sine 48 divided by, just the regular one, divided by sine of 93. 12.2. I don't think that. I think it was 11.2. So let me check my settings. And I'm in radians. Always check your settings if you are in degrees. There we go. Our answer is actually 11.2, which is what we have here, 11.2. Excuse me. All right, so this A is 11.2, but it is rounded off, so we don't want to use that to find C. So you'll have sine of 39, and the way that they got this angle was to add up the 93 and the 48, which gives you 141. Then 180 minus 141 leaves 39 degrees, because the angles of a triangle add up to 180. So sine of 39, and that's exact because that's always going to be, over C equals the sine of 93 over 15. So 15 sine 39 equals sine of 93. You are going to see sine 93. You're going to divide by the sine 93. And it actually is pretty easy to do on the Desmos calculator now, because that's just going to be changed, oops, that one, to 39. And there we go, 9.5 is about what we get. 9.5. Approximately. Okay. So it's fairly simple. You just have to get your proportions set up. Find all of the unknown measures of the triangle. That's exactly what you will be doing here. All right. Sine of 37 over 3 equals sine of 68 over b. Cross multiply and you get b sine of 37 equals 3 sine of 68. And you'll divide off this sine 37, both sides, to get your answer. And like I said, once you get it into your Desmos calculator, it becomes pretty easy. Because right here, that was 3 sine of 68, I believe. And, yep, over sine 37. So, I'll go back and change that. Sine 37. And there's my answer, 4.6. So it's pretty simple. You're doing the exact same thing every time. B is approximately 4.6. All right. You should find the C, find angle C, and side C for your notes quiz. And you should show me the work. You should not be just giving me an answer. You actually have to show me the work. Okay, when an angle of elevation to the sun is 62 degrees, so there's a picture, a telephone pole tilted at an angle of 7 degrees from vertical casts a shadow of 30 feet long on the ground. Find the length of the telephone pole to the nearest tenth of a foot. Well, if this is 7 degrees from vertical, 90 minus 7 equals 83. So this angle right here is 83 degrees. You are looking for the length of the pole. So, 2 angles and a non-included side means this would be a sine, law of sines function. Sine of 62 over the pole equals sine, whoops, I have 2 unknowns if I do it this way. Sine of 83 over that right there, GP. Well, that's not the one I want to do then. So what I'm going to have to do is find that third angle because it needs to be with the 30 degrees. Okay, so 62 plus 83 is 145. 180 minus 145 is 35 degrees. So what I should have on this side is sine of 35 over the 30. And you will cross multiply 30 sine of 62 equals P sine of 35. Divide by sine of 35 on both sides. And your P is going to be approximately, go to Desmos and I replace that with 62 and 35. Okay, so 62 and 35. And this was actually 30 degree shadow. So we get 46.2. That's not bad. Okay, P is approximately 46.2 feet. And I'm going to get us on the next video. See you in a minute.